Did you ever struggle with your identity of being a Muslim in America at the time?
Muslim American youth presence, and especially at that time, and this was pre-9/11, a youth group of American Muslims that was very active, and that helped me a lot.
Assalamu alaikum, Ustazah Yasmin Mogahed.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Ustazah, can you please share with us a bit of your background, your upbringing and your career choice? Was becoming an Ustazah something that you have always wanted to do?
So that's an interesting question. I think ever since I was young, I was interested in two things, writing and teaching. So it was very natural for me. From the time I was young, back in the day, I used to write letters to my best friend who was living in another state. So you know, like the pen pal type thing,
right.
But she was like a real person. So I actually used to write a lot since I was probably about 14. I was writing, it was almost like writing in a journal, but I was writing to my best friend who lived far away. And I think it really got me used to writing my thoughts and explaining, you know, things happening around me. But I also got very interested in learning about Islam, specifically Islamic psychology and Islamic spirituality. And then I studied psychology in university, and then I went on and got a master's in professional writing. So kind of combined all of that together in my work now.
What was a childhood like for you?
Wow. Childhood was, I would say that my parents, both of them, really emphasized for me and my sisters. So it's me, and I have an older sister and a younger sister. My older sister Dalia, my younger sister Mona. One thing that was very emphasized in our household was education. And my parents are very highly educated. They came from Egypt to the United States in order to seek an education, in order to get their PhD. They're both engineers. Education was very much emphasized in our household. My parents had very high standards, and so we were expected to do very well in education. And then of course, obviously, we were also raised in a practicing Muslim household. My mother always emphasized the importance of salah, and one thing that I always remember from my mom was that she was very strict when it came to riba. And this is something that was ingrained in all of us. Very afraid of falling into riba, and we always avoided it growing up. And we watched our parents continue to rent throughout the decades in America while their friends, you know, purchased houses for very cheap but using mortgage. My parents refused to do that. They only rented. And so we really grew up with that principle very much ingrained about not getting involved with riba. Alhamdulillah.
Did you ever struggle with your identity of being a Muslim in America at the time?
You know what, I think everyone has that struggle, but one thing I was very privileged to have was a very strong, what I would say is Muslim American youth presence. And especially at that time, and this was pre-9/11, I'm giving away my age here, but growing up, we had a youth group of American Muslims that was very active and I was very involved with it, myself and my sisters, and that helped me a lot in my own finding that balance between being American and being Muslim. It really gave me, I think, very solid roots in my identity, and I think it's very important that Muslims around the world and youth have that to help with their identity.